The biggest Kingsland fight in Rise of Kingdoms international server history is finally at an end. Oh my gosh, how this thing played out for a week. We had the craziest Zig fight. We got to see so many things from so many different content creators. It was so much fun for the community to take part in this and to see it and watch it as we saw 1093, 2377, their allies, actually be able to push out 2489 and the miraculous and heroic efforts by the A seeds. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk about all the kill points, what everybody contributed, just crazy. Everybody needs to be commended because this was one of the greatest Kingslands I think I have ever seen. You feel that burn, and you already know we're locked in deep. This is Chatski mode. Hey everybody, I'm your boy War Daddy Chatski. I do these videos all the time, and if you enjoy these videos, throw a like on here. Helps out the channel, helps out these videos a ton, and if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Does not cost you a thing. I'm gonna get right into it. This is Kingsland, okay? We have been watching this thing for a week. We have had two, not just one, but two Zig fights. And you just don't see those in a KvK, okay? Just crazy things that happen, such an even matchup with matchmaking, and you gotta appreciate and congratulate all the kingdoms involved with this because it was wild. Everybody pulled their weight, and you had crazy performances individually as kingdoms. You had war lead performances. Everybody. I'm gonna put a link down for all the content creators in this Kingsland. You got all kinds of guys. You got like Dirty Dan and Billick. Billick was doing a ton with the A seeds. You got all these different dudes, Grey Worm and Cortex, Chiskel and Ihara and Enzo. Everybody was live streaming this and they're fighting, and they did amazing. They gave us all the content that we wanted, so check out all those channels down in the description. Well, this thing was right down the middle for so long. Okay, you had the A seeds over here in blue. They had actually pushed 2377 out of Kingsland. They had taken the passes and pushed them out, and then after the Zig fight, they were able to put down the full throttle with the A seeds and 2489. They both helped each other. Great coordination with how they did it. They pushed out 2377. Then all of a sudden 2377 started coming back. They got their territory figured out. They got some area. They got the activity going, and they pushed back. Okay, 1093 was holding their own up here the whole time. And of course, 1093, the biggest kingdom in Rise of Kingdoms with the highest capabilities as far as player capabilities and what they were able to do. They are still sitting at 2 alliances over 12 billion power. Like, they could probably keep going. That's what's crazy about 1093. Phenomenal organization. It has been regarded as one of the best run kingdoms with the best leadership for now years. I mean, 1093 has been through it. They have been through it at the high level back in the Titan days when you had multiple alliances. Now they have adjusted, and they are the only kingdom to run 2 bona fide high level alliances in an Imperium. No other Imperium does that. They figured it out. And so you got to commend them, because part of the reason why they're so strong and their murder ball is so strong is because they just have so many players, and good players. You know, they might not have all the Krakens. They got a bunch, and they, trust me, we'll go through and look at a bunch of them. But what they have done has been incredible. They have guys and gals that are great players that know how to fight. They follow markers. They are extremely well run, very disciplined, just a machine. And for them to be able to be overwhelmed and then come back and coordinate push times and do different things has been absolutely crazy. Their allies over here in 77, guys, this is not the 77 of last year or 2 years ago. That was just out of control good. However, they are still pretty potent. I think they're down to like, I don't know, 70, 80, 90 members, something like that. So they have naturally kind of declined when it comes to their member count, but they still have Hope and Lion, and they still have so many big time players that are able to provide the power and really help. And so from that standpoint, it is wild to see how these things work out. Hope and Lion still over 2 billion power. They still got some in the tank. And watching 2377 be able to take the power that they have, then take the allies that they have and 33-31, 28-90, and be able to push back, get the morale going again, and get back into Kingsland. Even if they lost the second Zig fight, it didn't matter. They were still able to keep pushing. One thing we have found out about this Zig, the buffs on it are great, but it kind of lulls you to sleep because 1093 won the Zig right off the rip in the first massive Zig fight. But then right after that, that's when 2489 and the A seed started pushing. For the next 24 hours after the Zig, they literally pushed 2377 out of Kingsland. So it wasn't like the Zig was like the reason why you were going to win. And then the second Zig fight, the opposite happened. 2489 and the A seeds took the Zig, but then 2489 and 2370, or I'm sorry, 1093 and 2377 went full throttle nonstop. And so gotta commend them. Okay. Then you come over here to 2489, pound for pound, probably the best kingdom in the game in the sense that they've only got like 150 members, but what they've been able to do, how they've been able to do this has been incredible. They all ran it down. Like all these accounts, especially the big accounts, easily over 300, 400, 500 million. They just ran it freaking down. They didn't have any troops left. These guys were so crazy. They were literally maxing out the shop, retraining troops, using the gems for healing. They were doing everything that they could. And of course, Arvex leading that whole situation. You could not be more impressed with how these guys were able to take on 1093. You got to remember, they just took migrations in. All right, 2049 just got to this level. This is their first KvK with taking in good big groups. They took a group from 960 after that disbanded, and what they've done is nuts. You've obviously got Eva in there with Mao and Arvex running this thing. Long is in there running the territory. You've got all the guys here in 2049. They have done exceptional. I know a ton of guys over there, and what they were able to do was crazy. But for me, guys, I'm sorry. The MVP of this KvK was our guys in the A seeds. What these guys were able to do just completely baffled it. It was anti anything we've been told, because we have been told, in fact, I have been accused of saying that A seeds can go compete with Imperiums if they have the right, ally, and they're able to get in the right situation. And so many people are like, A seeds should never fight Imperiums. Well, these guys proved it straight up. So impressed. You go back to my live streams. I'll have that at the end screen. You can go back to the live streams of the second Zig fight and what the A seeds were doing. These guys just ran it down, and so proud of these guys and how they did it. You had 3251. Obviously, you had 74. Then you had these guys over here that were cooking really, really well. And more than anything, when you see how these guys kind of work out with 3517. Let me go down here. MSN or MCN, of course, that is 3176. And then even the lower one here, everybody, they were all competing and they were all doing everything they can. 3285, like I said, 3251, and then 74. These guys were crazy, just crazy what they were able to do. You saw it on Billick's stream. Billick had the point of view, the POV from the A seed side the whole time, and their coordination was incredible. They had war leads going on. 2489 was helping them out. You had like Ruz war leading these guys, and they were doing so exceptionally well. And at some point, they were going to run out of gas. They run out of speed ups. They don't have the Krakens that some of these big Imperiums have to keep training and keep doing it. But they had every chance. They performed, in my opinion, for where they were. They outperformed everybody relative to what their capabilities were. These guys were just incredible. So you got to just appreciate that. It goes down in glory. Like, guys, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to go fight these KvKs and then lose on top of that. But I promise you, anybody who wants to fight in A seeds and good organized A seeds are going to join these A seeds right here. These are the best the hottest A seeds, most popular A seeds right now in Rise of Kingdoms because of their performance. That's why you do it. So there's benefit to that. It's not all in vain. And so with that, keep your heads held high, because you guys, I am so proud of what you guys were able to do. And you guys need to be commended and highlighted, all right? Let's go into some of the stats of this, because it's wild, okay? You come in here and you look at this. Now, this is on Pro Kingdoms. This is Horse's website and what he does. Look how many total kills. Total kill points, 3.2 trillion in one KvK. That's like a record. Like, that rivals some of the Titan KvKs with the strifes from 3 and 4 and 5 years ago. That is crazy what we saw. Okay, Al Haytham breaking the single KvK record when it comes to KP gained. He edges out Itachi. Our Goldfish Kim almost gets there. Itachi was at 25.5 billion. So Al Haytham takes over that whole mantle. All right, he lost 301 million power, just ran it down, and he kept that account going 24/7 nonstop. Like, just crazy what he was able to do with this account. And the other side of that, you know, Itachi, people will say, well, he had the cooldown, the War Frenzy cooldown KvK, and that 1v3 that 606 fought. But it doesn't matter, guys. I mean, you have to have opportunities to go run the KP up this high, and this was like the perfect opportunity. Like a 7-day Kingsland fight. Are you kidding me? With 2 Zig fights? Oh my gosh. You got all guys. Cyborg is up there from 1093. Of course, Genie, one of our guys. You guys have seen him. I've highlighted his accounts on my channel before. We've done interviews with him. He's one of my buddies. Genie, just crazy. And then you've got Mr. Hope up there. You've got Super Cow up there. Just crazy performances. Wild Lions up there. D-Ace is up there. Ahmad Aziz from 2489. These guys just went nuts. There's Legion. There's Toxic. You guys saw Toxic on Enzo's stream. It was crazy. You guys, this was just wild what was happening. The top 20 of this was crazy. There's Saul in Water Camp. Here's DZ and 3176. They were in Water Camp. So it wasn't just the Imperiums. It was A-Seeds doing crazy stuff. And so from that standpoint, just wow. There's a Tachi that was running before he ran out of speed ups. That's his alt account, by the way. Oh my gosh. It just wild what this was able to do. Let's go by each camp and look at this. Because when you come in here and you look at Fire Camp at 2489, I just want to show you guys how many players over 10 billion kill points. They had 16 players reach 10 billion kill points. J Tower's up there. Mintom is up there. You got all kinds of people just crushing it, right? And just such a great performance by 2489. Just wild. Mal's up there. There's Jovi. Jovi was done. Jovi's one of my 300 guys, and he's just like, bro, I am spent. And so, of course, all the Arvix accounts, Arvix just doing so much to help drive that kingdom. Multiple accounts there. The leading, it was just crazy, okay? Killer Prime, Lotus is up there. All these guys. You come down here, and 2489 literally had, let me see here, 92 players at 5 billion kill points or more. How crazy is that? So it was wild. And I think when you come down here to the bottom and you look at a detailed view here of the overall KP gain, I think this needs to be updated, because I think they pushed to 1 trillion kill points from a kingdom. 1 trillion kill points. I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think a kingdom has ever done 1 trillion kill points in one KvK. So credit to Fire for what they were able to do, okay? You come over here to Wind Camp where 1093 was. These guys spread it out, man. This is why it's so crazy. Of course, Cyborg, you got big time players up there. And so you can see here, Douglas is up there. Chicken's up there. Ghost Rider, look how much power he lost, 351 million. BT Cyborg lost 608 million, okay? Eder Noob, they lost 400 million. I mean, just crazy amounts of power they lost to win this KvK. You had Mad Makote. Makote's ult's in here, just cooking, okay? You had all these different players. Monster Moochie's in here. 1093 just showed up. Now, here's what's weird about 1093. I said 92 players in 2489 were over 5 billion kill points. Well, 1093, you had 49. You had about half, right? But here's the difference. 1093, you keep scrolling down here, their 100th player had 3.4 billion kill points. They had so many players above 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion kill points. Just crazy what they were able to do with their leadership and their capabilities. Okay, we'll go to their allies in Earth Camp. Of course, you're going to see Hope and Lion at the top of this. There they are. They both lost 1 billion power each. This is who the A-Seeds had to go fight. Okay, I mentioned Peppa Pig here with Winter. You had Itachi's ult that was just running it down. Crazy kill points. Professor, there's Rayo, the guy that's been hammering this thing in 2377. Milo and a few others. Jebica is in there. Anybody else? Euro, I know him. Some of these other guys, you gotta give them a ton of props. Everybody running this thing down and what they were doing. And then we got the A-Seeds. Oh my gosh, these guys are my favorite. Okay, obviously 3176, 3251, 3285. They're all contributing. Everybody. Look at this. Now, they don't have the super high end. They got a couple up here with Saw and DZ. But when you scroll down here, they just have so many players. So many players over 2 billion kill points. That's like the capabilities of what these players did. They couldn't go run it down and run up 8 billion kill points, but they could take the lot of hundreds of players on the A-Seed side and go crush it. And they did exceptionally well. Now, with all that being said, here was the overall, I showed a little bit of it, but here was the overall situation that ran out. There might be a little bit more that needs to be calculated. Of course, you got 1093 that have done exceptional with their kill points along with Fire and 2489. You look at the power, the KP loss and the heals, and then you look at the overall deads. Oh my gosh, look what Water did, y'all. The A-Seeds, look how many deads they had. That is, for them to go into this KvK and perform to this level based on the Pro Kingdoms model is just wild, just crazy. And you can see all the Water Camp, they're all performing at some level. Now 3176 probably the lowest out of them, but 3251, 3517, 2774, they all contribute, all pulled their weight. So probably one of the most even KvKs we have ever seen, and probably one of the most crazy Kingslands we will ever see. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. The Zig fight at that level. And honestly, here's the interesting part about this. This thing, we had 24/7 fighting going on for a week. Just craziness. And there's so many pilots are being run all over the place, even on the A-Seed side. And that was one of the things that people were like, well, the A-Seeds are getting piloted just like everybody else. Well, you still got account capabilities, because you can have all the pilots in the world, okay? And I'm just going to talk about the dark art of piloting for a second. You can have all the pilots in the world, but if the accounts cannot handle it, they only have so much they can handle with speed ups and resources. And if you can have all the pilots, I've seen it. I've seen people come into an AC that I was in and say, hey, we got a bunch of pilots to help you out. And it's like, bro, we're tapped. Like, nobody in our kingdom is going to use the pilots because they don't have anything. Like, there's nothing for you to pilot unless you want to pilot some farms, which they do sometimes. But from that standpoint, being able to run the pilots on some of these limitless accounts that 2489 have, and then 1093 being able to run their horde of players with 2 massive alliances, just gave us this crazy concoction of a KvK. Okay, just wild. And so with that, again, guys, there is no ifs, ands, or buts, or candy and nuts. It doesn't matter what you think. I don't want to hear excuses or reasons. I just want to celebrate the best KvK I have seen, or Kingsland I have ever seen. This was so much fun to watch. I wanted to make sure all the content creators that were doing it were able to broadcast and stream their content and their fights. And I only did a couple of streams on this because it was just so much fun watching these guys, watching them. They were grinding. Billick was about to fall asleep multiple times, getting coffee, giving us an update on what he was doing. You had Dirty Dan cooking, Grey Worm, Cortex was cooking, Chisco was jumping on. It was just wild. And so with that being said, give this video a thumbs up, guys. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Give this KvK a thumbs up. Holy jeez. And get down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about it. And guys, keep it clean, because we're just celebrating this, all right? Because I think the guys who even lost this KvK are to be commended like they're winners. Like, it's that crazy what kind of performance everybody put in. Arvex and the crew in 2049. The A-Seeds, love them. Oh my God, 1093, sticking to what they do best, sticking to the discipline and the leadership they have to utilize the players they have. And then 2377, coming back from the dead. Oh my gosh, just so many storylines in this KvK. And with that, hope you have a great day, broskies.